Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Career Happy Hour. We are here every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to give everyone a few more minutes to get the alert and to come on and jump in. Have your drinks in hand and ready to say a big cheers to all of us who are joining us at Career Happy Hour. We're going to tune in to a little bit of music, but as you come in, you know the routine. Comment with your name, where are you tuning in from, and what are you sipping on? We will get started in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Career Happy Hour. We are so glad to be here. I know it's a little bit of a different venue than last week because last week was heaven on earth with those breezy winds and sunny Orlando. But we're back in the home office and we are so glad that you all are joining us. Let's see who we have tuning in. We have Mia Jordan from Atlanta. Hey, Mia, you're drinking on an Arnold Palmer. All right, love. We have Nigeria up in the house, checking in from Pensacola with a glass of Snoop red wine. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Renee, all right, my BB is up in the house, raining in from Dirty Jersey, and I'm sipping on an old-fashioned ginger ale in a bottle that looks like a beer. It's all about the experience, right? It's the experience. So I love being able to sip out of a beer bottle, even though it might not be beer. So grateful for all of you who have popped on in. As people continue to pop in, please make sure you share where you're tuning in from, your name, as well as what are you sipping in on. And if you're not able to catch us live, go ahead and put in hashtag replay. We want to give you some love too, because we realize that sometimes you can't always make the live, but you're able to tune into the replay. So we want to go ahead and get this week's episode started. I'm so super excited about our guest co-host for tonight. But for those of you who do not know me, I am Lashina Recruitalina, your six-figure career brand coach. I am absolutely obsessed with your success. And that is why the Spirit moved me to start Career Happy Hour, for us to have a community where we're able to come together, to be able to inspire, motivate each other, and to have a community where we can really pour into each other and that we can learn things from each other and help each other out. And that's also part of my mission of being able to help normalize earning six figures. And when we talk about six figures, it's not just $100,000. Oh no, that's where it starts. But where it ends is one digit shy of $1 million. So there's a big gap in there when we talk about six figures. And that's what we want to normalize. Us talking about aspiring and continuing to grow our six-figure earnings. And then the way that we do that is, I truly believe, is by staying recruitable, visible, and then it turns into being profitable, because we need all of those variables to really have opportunities to come to us versus us chasing those opportunities. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, instead of always having to chase things that we want are just sent to us. And I believe that, and I am a living witness of that being true. So grateful for all of you who are here for Career Happy Hour. And again, please make sure that you're inviting others to this community. Have them go to careerhappyhour.com and to get their one-time registration. That is only one time. And then from that point, you get updates on when we go live, special giveaways that we get. In order to qualify for the giveaways, you have to be on the email list so that we can get in contact with you for your giveaway. So make sure that you're on the contact list, that you're getting those updates, but you're also in our private Facebook group, because we also have special things that we do there. So really appreciate all of the community that we have thus far, and continue to grow and invite others. So without further ado, let us get started and introducing our guest co-host for tonight. Oh my goodness, you are in for a major, major treat. Let me tell you a little bit about who we have with us tonight. So she hails from the Big A's sister, Athens, Georgia. She's educated from the Clark County school system, and then she quickly entered the workforce and became a force to be reckoned with. She entered the world of IT and excelled at every level. Without a degree, she began to move up in the company, as well as complete certifications in different areas. She has traveled all over the world working on computers. But while working in corporate America, she was still tapping into her entrepreneurial headspace. She started Leave It to Kandie and Kandie Promotions. Shortly thereafter, she tapped into modeling and started iKandie Modeling Agency. The hustle was always real and came to the forefront when she was laid off her job of 20 years. Now, having to revamp her business to make it even more successful, she created Kandie Enterprises, which is a social media management company. Starting out with one client, she has grown that business to over 5 figures and 70 plus clients in 12 months. She's also a 3-time published author, as well as a motivational speaker. Kandie's favorite quote is, "I am Neo." Once you start believing in yourself, you can accomplish anything, because we are all Neo. Please put your virtual hands together and welcome to the virtual stage, Kandie with an E, Martin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to start screaming for my own self, because sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back.
That's right. If you don't pat yourself on the back, nobody else will.
Hey, at the end of the day, if you don't believe you the bomb, who else gonna believe you the bomb?
Look, we got LaShawn tuning in. She said, "Hey, girl, hey." Oh my gosh.
I be listening to my intro sometimes, be like, oh, I did that too, didn't I?
I'm telling you, if our audience members, if you do not have a bio, you've got to make sure you have a bio on lock and ready, so that when somebody taps you on the shoulder to say, "Hey, I need you," and they ask for your bio, because you're right, Kandie. A lot of times when people read our bios, we're like, "Who is that? They sound pretty good." And you're like, "Oh, that's me." Because sometimes we forget, because we're just going, right? We're just working and making things happen, making moves. But then when you read out those accomplishments, it's like, wow, that's pretty. So, we got a great career story to talk about with you. I cannot wait to unpack this. we got somebody tuning in and said, "Woohoo, Kandie girl." All right. And then we have hey now, Columbus, Ohio coming through, drinking water, still detoxing. Emma, you still detoxing, girl. You gonna be detox good.
I'm gonna be like her when I grow up, but it ain't gonna be today.
No, it's not going to be today.
Not
So
today.
let's do share, do our little cheers. What are you sipping on, my dear?
So actually, I tried something new. It is Sutter Home. So if you like Sutter Homes, Sutter Home fruit infusion. This is pineapple.
Ooh.
Tropical pineapple. It's actually good. They have a whole bunch of different flavors. You know, I'm just going through the different flavors to see which one I like the best. So far, you know what I'm saying, is the pineapple. But this, I know y'all probably can't see this, but my cup is branded too. It says Kandie. So get your branding on.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, and you know what is really cool, Kandie, is that your drink looks like water.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. It
You
look
can,
like,
you can
but
work
this
some
is what
things with that.
exactly. But this is what the bottle look like. See?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Tropical
That's
pineapple.
what that's what I'm talking about. Man. Oh, that's that. Okay, Emma said, in your time, Kandie, detox. Hashtag detox.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. A mess. Well, Kandie, I am so, so grateful for you to be here with us. It's a long time coming, but you have always been the biggest supporter, one of the biggest supporters of Career Happy Hour. You pop in, you make some comments, you always behind the scenes, which is kind of a lot of what you do. Actually, you're behind the scenes making people look great. So that's even more special. So I read a lot in your bio. And one of the things that I always like to ask our guest co-hosts is everything that I described and who you are and what you've accomplished. When you were a little girl and people asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you remember what you wanted to be? Is it anywhere close to this?
I wanted to be a math teacher. I actually was in college to be a math teacher. I was taking care of doing math, but basically, when I got pregnant with my first child, I dropped out of college. And when I dropped out of college, life happens, and I started, just working, and then I ended up getting in IT, and everything went everything went up from there.
Wow, that happens quite a bit. Is that sometimes kids kind of put a little bit of a intersection in our plans, and we have to pivot and take a different course. And I know how many times that has happened. And so when you got into IT, how did you even land in IT? I mean, because
That's a
math is very
story.
different from IT.
Yeah, that's a whole story by itself. So basically, I had started working, and I had got a job of all things as a security guard. So I was a security guard, and then I was working in Gainesville because, as we said, I'm from Athens. So I was actually working in Gainesville, and I was in a car accident. So they actually physically had to cut me out of the car. And when they did that, they actually changed my position. So then I actually started working in Atlanta. So when I started working in Atlanta, of course, I was the head security guard. And so everybody was coming down to see who this little woman is that's in charge named Kimberly. Who is Kimberly? And so everybody came down and started meeting me. And so it was this lady that was from Jamaica, and she had came down, and she was just meeting me like everybody else. And then she asked me, like, how many kids do you have? So, I'm sitting up here like, she really knows. Why is she asking me all these questions? And so, but something told me to just tell her. So I told her about my kids. I had 3 kids. I had moved them back in with my mom while I was traveling, because I was actually traveling from Athens to Atlanta every day to go to work. And so she was like, I can't help you with no money, baby, but I can teach you how to do something where you'll never have to worry about money. And so before I would actually get on the clock to work, I would actually go into the computer room and she taught me everything I needed to know. And then she actually hooked my resume up, said I worked for her. I got my first job at IBM. Um, then it just went from there. So I worked at IBM, I worked at UPS, I worked at Delta Technology, I worked at Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company. So that was before it left Georgia and went back home. So yeah, and then that I ended up with Check Free Corporation, and like I said, it just all uphill from there.
Oh, wow. That is so amazing to be able to hear like just what that one question just catapulted your career. I want to pause really fast. LaShawn says that she's hearing some feedback. Is anyone else hearing that feedback? Drop me a comment in the because I have moved my devices, so I'm not quite sure. And Kandie, are you hearing any feedback on your end? Do you have any devices close by that maybe might be giving some interference?
Look, I don't know
Um,
what else to move now.
okay. Well, we'll see if we get any other comments about it. Because LaShawn says your resume is amazing. Yes. uh, and then And then Vernay, she says, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I'm so glad God kept you and brought you out of that accident." Yeah, that's crazy that they had to cut you out of the car.
Yeah, I was
And
reborn that day.
wow,
Somebody
I
else said,
don't know. Is this Renee saying that we both sound perfect from Jersey? Because she's a Jersey girl.
okay.
Uh, so so I know when you first heard that lady ask you some of those questions, a lot of times it is, you have to make a judgment call. Is this person being nosy, or are they really trying to seek out something in my best interest? And so sometimes that can be hard to determine, and you kind of play footsies with it. But I've had situations where I really was asking questions to help someone, but because their energy wasn't receiving of me helping them, they didn't get help that they could have gotten. So that meant, Kandie, that your energy was receiving. Of course, you're not gonna tell all your business, but you were receiving enough that she could pour into you and to give you a little bit of some guidance and assistance, and
But
it
that's
blew
one of
up.
the things, exactly. So that's one of the things that everybody has to realize, that in order for you to get a blessing, you have to do a couple of things. So if somebody is actually doing something for you, that person is being blessed because they're doing what God put in their heart to do.
Yeah.
But you have to receive it. That's the blessing that you get. So everything that I'm doing now started from that, from me getting cut out of that car. A lot of people think of stuff negatively, but I say all the time, I was reborn because my whole mindset changed, because I could have been dead, you know. So because people don't even realize I was actually smushed between two cars. A car came and hit me in the back, pushed me into the car in front of me. I couldn't get out. I couldn't move. I was actually in between the back seat and the front seat of my car. So it was no way for them to get me out other than to cut me out. And so I just looked up, because even when I went to get my stuff out of the car, the guy was like, "That's your car? You was in that car? And you out there?" Exactly. So at the end of the day, God blessed me to see another day. And so with that happening to me, it was something that I needed to listen to. And because I did that, look at all of the things that I learned because of that. When I actually first started working with her, I never knew what a computer was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a computer. So she used to laugh at me all the time. She was like, "Oh my God, you know more than I do," because every day I would come home and I would get on the computer and I would figure out stuff. And girl, let me tell you, I would dang gonna unplug that computer because I don't know if they're gonna tear it up or not, and plug it back in. Oh, it went right back where it was supposed to. Girl, I was doing all kinds of stuff. But you know, those things that I was doing actually helped me in IT because what I didn't know is I was IPL in the system.
Oh wow. You're doing it and you don't even know you're doing it.
Exactly.
It just came natural.
Right. Because the other thing was when I was working at IBM, my boss, he was like, if you learn these two things, I give you a raise. So every time he'll tell me two things, I learn four things. You know what I'm saying? I'm that person. You're going, oh, I'm gonna learn more than that. So when I got to, because what people don't know is when I started working in IT, I was making like $8 an hour. I wasn't making any money. And so I was kept on making, kept on getting these raises. And then he stopped, I guess he had cuts, you know what I'm saying, where he couldn't get raises anymore. So, I'm like, I didn't learn four more things. I ain't got no more money. What in the world? I'm always trying to figure out how to make a dollar, right? So that's when I went online because I learned how to go online. I learned how to put my resume out online, stuff that I did not know how to do. And so it was, what was it? Computers.com. It was a service, computers.com, that we used to go to put our resumes out. And that's how I got the job. I got the job interview at IBM. And I was actually at work, at UPS. I was at work at IBM and I got the job interview for UPS. And so I had to do the interview at work. So I'm at work on the phone in the tape library, trying to make sure nobody was listening when I was talking. And I had no clue what I was going to be answering because this would be my second job in IT. So, I have no clue because, again, never went to school for that. So I didn't know anything about it. And so I got on the phone and I'm going to tell you how God works. I was on the phone and they asked me, how do you IPL the system? And it was a book that was right up under the manual, right up under the phone. And I grabbed the manual. And when I say it opened up to where I needed it to be, it opened up to where I needed to be. And I was able to tell them what an IPL was, which was funny because when I was unplugging the computer, I was IPLing the system. So I basically told them what an IPL was from reading it out of the book, got the job, and I was working at IBM and UPS up in Alpharetta, so I would drive from one to the other. Pretty
That's working it. That is working it all.
yeah,
But
exactly.
you make a great point though. It's always about over exceeding expectations. And even, for yourself or the goals that you set for yourself, you want to always exceed that. I love that you said that he said learn two things, but you learn four. The power in that, because sometimes I don't, I saw this one quote one time, and it had a blank sheet of paper, and it says, "This is what the world owes you."
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
It's all upon you and what you want to make of it, and that's what you did by learning four things when you were told to learn two things. And now I was on the Instagram live that you did today too. I call it the replay, but you said something really powerful on there too. Even with your customers and your clients, you set the bar where you know what I'm talking about, where you exceed expectations.
Right.
Like share that system. That was a beautiful system that you outlined there.
So basically, when it comes down to having a business or just, anything in general, one of the things that you have to do is actually give your clients more than what they are expecting, more than what they are paying for. So what you do is you make it part of your system. So if you make it part of your system, then you don't have to worry about, are you exceeding expectations, because it's part of what you're supposed to do anyway, from your standpoint, from your client standpoint. It's like, oh my God, they're doing all of this extra stuff, but you're really not.
That was beautifully said. You know that gnat that I told you that been bugging me all day is back.
Bug.
That's okay. That's okay. I got it. Okay. But how I know that a lot of our entrepreneurs and dualpreneurs or whatever you want to call them when you have your nine to five and you work in your business, there is a lot of value in thinking about it that way. So I would challenge all of us to think about it and set a system where we can always over exceed. You under promise and over, what is it? I always
Deliver.
thank you. Under promise and over deliver. So that is definitely the theme. So you went through IT and your career in IT, and you kept learning and learning, and then after 20 years, wow,
Yep.
how did that feel?
Oh my God, I laid in the bed for probably about 2, 3 days. Because I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I've been working for someone. I actually started working when I was 15. So I've been working for someone from 15 years old to 50. And 20 years of that 50 was at one company. So when I got let go, I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? So it was really hard.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when people go through a layoff, they don't realize the impact that it's going to have on their self-esteem, and that and I speak to that because of course that's my specialty, is helping corporate career professionals who've been laid off and are overwhelmed because they've been just thrown into this job search mode that either they had a clue about it might happen, or they were completely taken off guard. But either way, you go from getting a steady paycheck and going into a job to you might get a severance. Usually you do get a severance for a certain period of time, but the emotional impact that it has, it just knocks you down. You're like, what, because you feel as if you've been loyal to this company for so long and they are not being loyal to you because they just cut you.
Exactly. Exactly. But not only that, even if you get a severance package, it's a ticking time bomb on that, because this is the money you're gonna get. This is all you getting. You know what I'm saying? We actually went. Um, he said, somebody said undercommit and underdeliver. Did I say that right? Okay.
Undercommit and
I was like,
overdeliver.
wait a minute, did I see that right? Okay, thank you for letting me see that, because I was like, oh, that is so wrong. Um, but with that, it's a lot of stuff, because people don't realize that if you're used to making a certain amount of money, even if you get a severance package, it's still you not making that money anymore. It's a difference from making six figures when you're working and now you're not making anything. You know what I'm saying? And it happened a month before I turned 50. So with that, you know, I'm trying to get back in the workforce at an age where you should be getting ready to think about retiring. You know what I'm saying? Or at least settling down. And because I was treating my business like like a side chick, as I always tell people, it wasn't, it really wasn't where it is now. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I always tell people, while you still have the job, still treat your business like a real business and actually pour into that business. We always talk about multiple streams of income. Well, one of those streams is your job, and that stream is to help your business get where it needs to be. And if I had been doing that when I was working, I wouldn't have had to struggle as much as I did. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, I went through 401k stocks, you know what I'm saying? Everything. And I couldn't get hired at McDonald's, honey. They was like, you overqualified. I was getting, for IT jobs, I was overqualified or underqualified, because remember, no degree. So even though I had 20 years of experience doing all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I still couldn't get a job. But I took it eventually. I understood what it was because it was God blocking me from doing something that He didn't want me to do. He didn't want me to work for somebody else. And so once I started believing in myself, this is where I tell you guys that you are Neo. God gives all of us gifts, and some of us have multiple gifts. And when we take those gifts and actually believe in the gift that God gave us and believe that He's going to take care of us, everything falls into place. And that's what happened.
Ooh, ooh, that is. Oh my gosh. I there's so much in that to unpack. So I'm gathering my thoughts because your phrase of "I am Neo." Talk to us a little bit more about that, because most of us know where that comes from, but for those of us who do not, please like give a little bit of the background.
So, I love the Matrix. So, the first one, the real one, the very first Matrix is the bomb. But if you actually pay attention to the Matrix, he had all of these gifts and everybody knew he had these gifts but him. But when he actually started believing in himself, when Neo started believing in himself, he could dodge bullets. You know what I'm saying? He could do anything. He could change how stuff looked. He could, oh my God, he could do so many things when he started actually believing in himself. And so it's the same thing with us. If you start believing in what you are here to do, this is your mission. This is what God put in your heart to do. When you actually start believing in yourself, everything is going to come easy. Once I started believing in myself and put my systems in place, my business started making money. And now I can pay my bills and don't have to worry about it. And guess what? I'm unfireable. You can't fire me from being Kandie.
I am unfireable. Woo! What? Oh, man, you bringing the Kandie. You bringing it. They not ready for you tonight. They are not ready for this career happy hour tonight. But one of our viewers said, "Amen." He was setting you up for something better, and that is so that's so great for us to think about, because sometimes things are not happening the way that we think that they should happen. And what we find out is that they're not happening that way for a reason. And sometimes that's where we have to sit back, recalculate, reassess, reflect, all of those things to say, what is this trying to teach me? Because that's one of the things that I've learned over the years, that if you don't get the lesson by which you were meant to learn, you will continue to get those same situations and lessons until you learn it. And you were learning a lesson at that point. And sometimes it takes that swift kick in the butt, as I say, to push you out of your comfort zone, because you're, in that case, your 9 to 5 was your comfort zone,
Right.
and your business was your hobby. And once that umbilical cord was cut, guess what? You still had to live.
Exactly.
And you made it live. And not only did you make it live, you're making it thrive. And it's just the things that you've been doing and that you are doing is just so amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because we could spend a whole show just talking about that. But I love to take people on the journey of where you come from and where you are, because a lot of times people see us on social media and they just think, oh, everything's working out perfect for them or her, and she's big balling and doing this and doing that, and that's nothing like mine. I'm having all these struggles. No, we got struggles. We got lots of struggles.
Yeah.
But what we are is also here for each other. And because Kandie is up in my tribe, man. She call Kandie up. What? You messing with Hot Pockets? What? Okay. You rolling.
To kill.
That's how we get down around here, like 4 flat tires.
Exactly, with no air.
And then when we need picking up, or we need to ask questions, or we need to pour into each other, then that's what we do, because we know this it's hard in these streets, and we got to be there for each other. So let's talk about some of those amazing things that are going on, because you got Kandie Enterprises, you got I Am Kandie, you got all kinds of candy. So talk to us about all the candies so we can understand just all of the candy that's going on.
So everything started with Leave It to Kandie. Leave It to Kandie actually was named Poems by Kandie to begin with, because everything started with my poetry. And so I started out in business um, actually making gift baskets. So that was what I was doing. So that's what Poems by Kandie actually started out with, because I had a lot of clientele that were men that, I was keeping up with their specific dates, like birthdays and anniversaries and all of that. And so then I would actually remind them of the date. I would actually find out what they wanted to say to their wife or a significant other or whoever it was. I would actually create a poem um, around that, put that person's picture in the background and make a whole basket around it. So then that went from me doing that to actually being a personal assistant to small businesses. I would run errands and everything. And then my largest client was actually a funeral home. I did all of the obituaries and stuff like that and had a sympathy poem that I created for them. A lot of my poetry was actually published back then. So that was like in 98 when my poetry got published. But she actually renamed my business unbeknownst to her, because she basically said all of that stuff, I leave it to Kandie. So we changed the name of the company to Leave It to Kandie. And after that, I actually got connected to some people that wanted to start doing events here in Georgia, and I hooked up with somebody that didn't answer. And so I started actually creating events. So I used to have Thirsty Thursday here in the atrium in Stone Mountain. And so I had my first show. My first show, I had all local artists. So that was rappers, R&B groups, and comedians, because everybody don't like R&B, everybody don't like rap, but everybody loved to laugh. And so then my second show is when I actually booked Sunshine Anderson. And after that, things just started blowing up and everything. So Leave It to Kandie actually ended up becoming a talent management company. Then we actually split the company. And so then we opened up Kandie Promotions. So Kandie Promotions does all the promotional aspects. So that's any kind of event. We actually do all of the promotions for it. We have Eye Kandie Modeling Agency, because of course I used to model back in the day. And so I do all male modeling events. And so that's how I got into doing Eye Kandie. And then after that, we actually created Entertainers Corner. So it's one of the only businesses that does not have a K in it. So Entertainers Corner is actually my magazine. So, Entertainers Corner. So then we went from that to actually creating Kandie Enterprises, because Kandie Enterprises is my hub. It's the headquarters of everything. Everything is owned by Kandie Enterprises. I actually have Kandie's Buttercream, so I have my own shea butter company. And then Kandie Undisputed, of course, is my talk show. And KIM, which is Kim Publishing, is my publishing company, and I publish magazines. So the magazines, of course, you saw Entertainers Corner, but this year or last quarter, we did Prosperity Business Magazine, Believer's Ladder Magazine, as well as Church Girl CEO Magazine. And on top of that, I'm an author and all of that. So those are all of my businesses that are mine. And I'm also the co-founder of KDCP Network. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's it. Just like that's nothing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, please take a sip of your drink, because you need to hydrate after all of that. And then from the audience, man, you do everything, Kandie.
I really do a lot.
She really does. She really does. And she didn't even unpack a lot of that. She just gave you like the
name and
like the general surface level. because I know I am so grateful for you being in my life because what, a year and a half ago, I guess it is now, our mutual sister friend, our business bestie, our trio, what we are, told me, look, Sheena, you need to have somebody do your social media so that it's consistent. I'm like, but I know how to do social media. Yeah, but are you doing it consistently? Well, no, because sometimes I get busy with this and then I have that, and then I'll post something and then it might be another week or so before I post something else. She's like, look, we gotta be consistent. So when one of my buddies reached out to me and said, ooh, I love, like, you being consistent on your social media, I was like, it ain't me. I appreciate it, but it ain't me. It's Kandie on the Kandie Enterprises or whichever arm of the business it is that is making sure that I'm staying visible, because we talk about staying visible, recruitable, and profitable. So I'm staying visible and top of mind by being consistent. Exactly. So talk to us a little bit about what you do for businesses, because I love how you talk about how, it's almost like I don't know, give back is not the right word, but it's a special endearment that you have for what you do with social media. So
yeah, it's my ministry. That's my ministry. The social media is my ministry. Basically, I love helping startup businesses. So not just starting up as in I just started my businesses, but starting on social media, because majority of people that have businesses, if you are a true business owner, you don't have time to do all of the things. So the first thing that you can outsource is the social media. And so with that, it's a way for me to help small businesses, because a lot of them, they don't know what their avatar is. So I get to help them with that. They don't know what their brand look should be. So I help them with that. So it's a lot of different things that they get, not just social media. So that's why I love doing it, because I also get to see them grow. I get to see what they used to do, how it's changed. I can actually go out and look and see different things in the background to help them, because I actually help them with their social media, as in, you need to start doing lives. You know what I'm saying? You need to go live on your Instagram, those type of things I get to do as well. And I just love it. So, with anything that puts you in front of audiences, so not just social media, we help people get on podcasts. We help them get in the magazines. We help them get on TV. So everything that I do, everything that I have done has always been about how a person looks. So not just businesses, people as well. So I still have the actors and comedians that I help. So people and businesses, I help them look good.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you talk about, you help them look like a Fortune 500 company, although they've not scaled to that size yet.
Exactly. Because you have a lot of social media managers that only focus on one thing, and that's good, because niches make riches. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, but my niche is to try to make you look like Fortune 500 companies, because they are not on one platform; they are on multiple platforms, and so that's what we do. To include, I have my own app now. So we not on the the regular stuff like the regular people. So so we have our own platform that we actually do it from. We actually help people on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we also help them with their YouTube channel.
And it is slick too. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. Just the look and the feel of it is just, woo, it just make it feel all official. And so because we have so many, dualpreneurs that tune in on a weekly basis, and thank you so much for everybody's support for that. And I say that, but there's also a lens to this for career professionals. So I know a lot of times career professionals who don't have another business or their own business, they think, oh, well, that's just for the business owners or entrepreneurs. No, 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 no. Please listen. This is social media, and being visible on these channels can actually have companies tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, we have this amazing opportunity that I think that you might be a fit for because of what they've seen on social media. There's also different things that are unlocked for you because you are active on different platforms. LinkedIn being one of them with their latest thing with LinkedIn broadcast. If you wanted to host your own show, they look to see how active you've been. So we're talking to entrepreneurs and career professionals. Kandie, what would you give as some tips about social media? Your top tips on what everyone should think about when it comes to social media, whether you're doing it, they're doing it, anybody's doing it.
It don't matter who's doing your social media. The first thing is social media is just like a baby. So it grows and it goes or whatever. But the first rule for social media is, the book of Kandie, chapter 1, verse 1, be consistent. You know what I'm saying? In everything, be consistent. So make sure that even if it's only 2 or 3 times a week, that you're making sure that you are consistent. Make sure that where you need to be, know the platform. If you're good at Instagram and you know how to work Instagram, work your Instagram. But also make sure that your voice is coming through, especially people, not just businesses, but people, because people actually go and look, hiring departments actually go and look at your social media. And I know some people like, well, my social media locked down, baby. They know how to get through that too. So make sure that you are being professional at all times. And sometimes if you are actually looking for a job, you might have to create a Facebook page and LinkedIn page for your career. You know what I'm saying? So, look into doing that. Again, LinkedIn is the place to be if you're doing business to business, or if you are looking for a job, that is the place for you to be. And even if you're only posting things, especially our 6-figure people, if you're trying to keep and get 6-figure jobs, you need to be on LinkedIn talking about your expertise. So if you are an IT professional, then maybe actually start doing blogging posts on LinkedIn about new technology. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things help with any kind of company, because even if we're talking about a person, you are the company. You are your own business. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you're being professional. Make sure that you are consistent. Always, always, always give information that is actually pertinent to what you are doing. So that works for you, whether you are a professional or a business, because guess what? That information that you give out actually brings people to you. The funny part is I wasn't really consistent on LinkedIn at first, and I started being consistent on LinkedIn and actually got a whole network now because of the fact that I was on LinkedIn posting on a regular basis and got invited to an exclusive group. And I am the only social media manager in that group now. So that opens up my horizons, but it came from me being consistent on LinkedIn. Also make sure that you are posting. I know people talk about SEO all the time, but SEO starts with you being consistent. If you go out and Google Kandie Martin, that's Kandie with an E, you will see me. I did all of that without Google Analytics at all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. And there was so much in that. That was so great to hear. And congratulations on you getting recruited to that very exclusive membership, and that's amazing. That's how things they happen. Sometimes it takes time though, and so a lot of times we want things to happen instantaneously, and it doesn't happen like that. It happens just like you plant a seed, and it has to grow over time to see your fruits that you bear from that fruit. But with my HR hat on, I will say that employers are not supposed to look at social media for making those types of decisions.
But
Will it happen? Yes, it can happen, but it's not supposed to happen. And there's certain things in place to mitigate that, because it can cause risk to the company. Seriously, you can get legal repercussions because of using social media to make hiring decisions. So anyone who is in a hiring position, please don't do that, because it could put your company and you at risk for litigation. But the other side of that is, I know some people say, oh, that's why I don't post on social media, because I don't want people to find it. And it's like, really? You're making that decision for this little hole that you're talking about, and limiting yourself from this big world of possibilities that are out there. Is that really what you want to do?
nope,
I mean, it may be what they want to do, but then don't complain about when you
not
can't.
having any coins.
Right. You can't complain then.
Exactly.
So we got a question about LinkedIn. Is that okay? So I'm not sure about what the question is about LinkedIn, but yes, you definitely need to be posting on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
It is a professional channel though. So one, your profile picture does not need to be of you and your boo or you and your child. It needs to be you, and it needs to be a professional headshot. And your post, it needs to be very similar. Now it can include different things. What did you say, Kandie?
Professional.
Professional. So your post, now some of that, especially within this last year, that there is more social activist type of content and copy out there. And I love that, because, those are things that in times past, you don't cross the lines at work. But now we're really having employers take a stand for social injustice. And it's really great progress that we're making. So some of that is happening on LinkedIn a lot more than it has in the past, but it still needs to have some vein of showing your area of expertise.
Exactly.
So, somebody said people have turned LinkedIn into a Facebook page. No,
Some people have though, because I've seen some crazy stuff on LinkedIn, and I'm like, really, this is what you're doing on LinkedIn? So let me give you some more tea. So, everybody always asking, how I got started, what I did, or whatever. Everything started with a book.
Oh.
So in 2018, this is when we did Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option. Okay. So that book, that's when I was Kimberly. You know what I'm saying? Because my real name is Kimberly. So Kimberly did not want people in her job to know what she was doing, which is why her nickname became everything. You know what I'm saying? So Kandie Martin put out a book called Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option. And that catapulted me into everything, to include hooking up with Taria Vision Avant, because she was the one that helped me get this book together, along with a whole bunch of other big time people. I call them big time people because they were bigger than me at the time. So Wanda Hollis and a whole bunch of other people. It was Wanda's project, and I'm so glad I jumped on Wanda's project. But from that, everything that you see now came from that collaboration. And basically I went from doing that to when Taria opened up Urban CEO, network, and Sheena is another, ambassador, whoop whoop, ambassador. So so I got with Urban CEO when it first started out. I went from being one of the people that was on social media to being the VP of social media to being the vice president of the company. And that actually is how we started doing social media as an actual business. Social media was not a business. Social media for me was just an afterthought, because we was doing radio shows, with the radio/TV shows and all of that. I had 7 of those that I was doing. And so posting on social media was just because we needed you to know where to go. You know what I'm saying? And that actually ended up putting me in a position where I got to meet all of these people. I actually started doing social media, and then it turned into a company. Since then, I actually did the remix, as I call it, Waking Up Winning. This volume 2, you know what I'm saying? We actually did Life of an Entrepreneur, and I got some more coming through. It's 3 times because them the 3 that I got in my hand. But it's so many things happen from actually writing that book. So the whole thing that you need to remember from anything that I tell you tonight is always tell your story. If you tell your story, you never know who you touch. You never know where it can make you go. And me starting to tell my story is what made me grow and made me into the person that I am now.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And because, that's the basis of Career Happy Hour, is telling your career story. And there's so much power in a person's story. And usually it's not necessarily for them, but it's for someone else that they are going to touch along the way. And that is so powerful to think about. So, Kandie, we're getting close to the end of our hour. It flies by like usual. But tell us, in the few minutes that we have left, what do you have coming up, and how can people get in touch with you? Because people are like, ooh, I need her in my life. And yes, you do. So please share with them a little bit about what's up next and where can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so you already know you can get in touch with me at Kandie Enterprises on Instagram, Facebook, the website, all of that. But you can also look up Miss Kandie Kane, because that's my, my alter ego. She is on Instagram as well. I am Kandie on LinkedIn. And what is it? Kandie, Leave It to Kandie is still on Twitter. Don't tweet me though. I might or may not, because I ain't really into tweeting. But it is what it is. But what is it next week or week after? The 26th and the 27th, I actually be on the stage here in Atlanta. Another book coming out, and we're gonna be actually doing everything live. The Hustlers book is coming out, and I get on stage and talk, and try not to sweat, because I really don't like talking in person for a long period of time. Now, doing the lives is cool, but in person, that's a whole nother story. But you can catch me there. As always, you can always hit me up on Facebook and IG is always the places to go for me. And then you can always look for Spark, you know what I'm saying? So that's Sheena, Pixie, and Kandie, look for the Spark and we'll get you together, okay?
That's right. We can always track each other down. We know how to be the connector and the plug to make sure that you are being taken care of, for sure. Well, Kandie, thank you so much for gracing the stage with us and sharing all of these nuggets and telling your career story. And I know that you have touched some minds and some hearts tonight, because you have a very inspirational story that is just amazing. And it's only beginning. And that's the crazy thing. It is only beginning for you. The things that you have coming up and that you still have left in you to touch people. Oh my gosh. Just wait. Just wait for all of this that is coming along. So thank you again for coming and sharing the stage with me, and can't wait to have some more connections and some more discussions and nuggets that we're gonna be throwing this way. So thank you so much.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. Well, that is another episode of Career Happy Hour. I told you, these guest co-hosts, they are not playing. They are not playing around here. They have just some amazing stories to share, but then also just the testimonies and their tests that hopefully you are gleaning away, and you're sitting back and thinking, you know what? I can see myself in that career story. I can see myself in that tribulation and in that testimony, and I'm not alone. I can do this. I can pull myself up by the bootstraps and do what I have been purposed to do, because we all have a purpose. Sometimes it takes us a little while to figure it out or to find it. But once we do, baby, you are going to, what we say, rock your oomph. I am Lashina Recruiterlina, your six-figure career brand coach. So grateful for you being here for Career Happy Hour. Please make sure that you invite a friend to come and join us every week, every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here because we are a community of high frequency, ambitious career professionals and entrepreneurs. We're here to inspire, to motivate, and to be here for each other. And all the while, we want to make sure that we're normalizing earning six figures so that you can stay recruitable, visible, and profitable. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're looking forward to another episode next week. And it's going to be another amazing one. I can't wait. All right, y'all have a great rest of the week and see you later. Take care.